home of entrepreneurs.
Try the newest, cheapest, and fastest delivery na express service. Introducing Moto Express PH. You can now leave your shopping and delivery needs with us without much exposure and interaction to people outside. Mapa-grocery items, medicines, foods, and other essentials and halal-certified products, kami na ang mamimili at maghahatid sa'yo. Sinisigurado na ligtas, in good and quality condition ang mga pabili o orders sa delivery service na iyong i-avail. Para sa maayos at mabilis na delivery at order mo, ipamoto mo na. Download Moto Express PH app through Google Play that is built to deliver beyond your expectation. Tara na dito sa Moto Express. Dahil moto mo to.
Are you craving for some milk tea and donuts but you're watching your diet? Good news! You can now enjoy a healthier and superbly delicious keto milk tea and donuts here at Winkle Milk Tea and Winkle Donut. Has fewer calories, so it's good for the health and diet conscious and controlling weight. Why choose Winkle Milk Tea and Winkle Donut? The first halal certified milk Winkle Teas and Winkle Donut in the Philippines. The first healthy keto milk tea franchise in the Philippines. FDA approved. Uniquely infused milk tea flavors with high quality ingredients and premium taste. And if you want a healthy and refreshing franchise opportunity, a competitive healthy blended milk tea and donut franchise awaits you. We have business opportunity options you can choose from. Online seller, micro franchise, unit franchise, master franchise, international franchise. Order via our Facebook page, Winkle Tea and Winkle Donut, or contact 0995-551-4380 to experience this happiness in a box with your favorite Winkle Milk Tea and Winkle Donut.
Hello everyone, today I'm going to teach you on how to register in our platform. Firstly, you need to click www.ejasmine.com. This is how our platform interface looks like once you click www.ejasmine.com. As you can see, on the top right corner, click the login or register button. You will see two options, which is login button and register button. If you already have an account, just simply fill in your details. But if you does not have an account, click the register button and fill in your details requirement. If you are interested for becoming a vendor, you can click Become a Vendor button below. For vendor registration, you need to complete the details requirement. If you have halal certificate, you need to upload it on this section. Last but not least, once you have completed all the detail requirements, just click the register button. Thank you.
Okay, so good morning once again. Kita niyo po ang ganda ng bahay ko, no? Okay, that's my wallpaper. Anyway, so I'm Maria Teresa Malco, the Teachers Bureau host again. Today, we are going just to continue what we have started discussing, which is the principles of economics, of course. But let me shout out po sa lahat po ng mga teachers. Good morning po mga kaguro. Nandito tayo ngayon ulit sa GPTV BBN, The Entrepreneurs Channel. Ayan po. And also, I have already invited my students. Alam niyo naman po sa, ano tawag dito? Sa atin ngayon, sa new normal, of course. Kailangan nila daw ng teachers, ng teacher na magtuturo sa kanila. Of course, we cannot do that because obvious reason of the situation that we have right now. And this is the best way on how to do it. I may not be with them, of course, but they could always look into this channel and check my lesson. Okay, ayan, pumasok na ang aking tawag dito, PowerPoint presentation. Because today we are going to discuss the principles of economics as what I have said earlier. Nabubulol na naman ako. Okay, so, but before we go to yung second, we have to, of course, review. Parang classroom na lang talaga. But this topic is not only, of course, not only for entrepreneurs. This is good also for people who's not into business. We also have to understand this. This is very important, especially nowadays, no? Kailangan naintindihan natin our economics in our daily lives. Kailangan po yan. Hindi po pwede na pang teacher lang yan. Pang economics major lang yan. Hindi po pwedeng ganon. Kailangan maintindihan po natin yung konseptong to so that we could actually live our lives in a very tawag dito, productive manner. Okay? Hindi lang po ito kasi pang economist o pang economics major. This is not just for entrepreneurs kasi mas kailangan nila. Hindi po yun. So, of course, this is also for the students. Importante ito sa kanila, especially yung mga, syempre mga estudyante natin na bubbling ba, kumbaga sa mga roses, they are starting to to grow. And this topic is really very important. And of course, for us, hindi tayo estudyante, hindi tayo economists, hindi tayo entrepreneurs, kailangan din po natin ito. Okay, so the 10 principles of economics as what we have mentioned the last time. Let's review. There are 3. Of course, meron pong tatlong category ang 10 principles of economics. And number 1 is how people make decisions. This is what makes the senior high school applied economics is all about. How people make decisions. Dito lang po nakafocus ang applied economics ng senior high school. Yung other 2, hindi masyado doon nag-focus ang applied economics for senior high school. But of course, today, for this particular session that we have here in Teachers Bureau, we are going to attempt to tackle. I'm not an economist, I'm just a teacher. I have 15 years of experience in the industry, but meron akong MBA, but that doesn't mean I am an expert. We are going to attempt to discuss this because I believe this is important for everybody, not only for entrepreneurs, as what I have said earlier. Okay po. So, as I've said, tatlong category, and this is what I have discussed the last time, how people make decisions. This is really very important for us, okay? Not only for entrepreneurs, not only for students. Okay, for people like us, we really have to be rational and objective in our decisions. For students, this is very important for them as they are continuously into education. And for entrepreneurs, this is very important for you. Why? Because if you know how people make decisions, it's easier for you to make your SWOT analysis, to make your strategies. Okay, what makes people buy products? Yan, yun po yung importante kasi when we are entrepreneurs. We have to understand the decisions that people make. What are their needs and what are their wants? Okay po. So next, these are situationals kasi. Okay, situations that are really very important. Okay, but my mukhang hindi gumagalaw. Ayan, gumalaw na siya. Medyo may konting delay lang. Okay, sa first natin, sa principles of economics is of course, people face a trade-offs when they are faced with scarcity. As I've said last time, kapag tayo ay in face of scarcity, what do? We have alternative decisions. 'Di ba? Katulad nung example ko the last time po, ano yung naging decision ko? First, I have, of course, I don't have that money to buy signature clothes. So what I did is I saved. But kapag merong dumating na mas importante or mas pressing situation, okay, mas pressing situation than to buy a signature clothes, what do you do? What will be your decision? Ano ang gagawin mo as a person? Will you continue to save that money? And will you be kumbaga parang matigas ang ulo na hindi, para lang to sa para to sa signature clothes ko. Eh paano kapag kailangan ng gamot ng mama mo, kailangan nyo sa bahay because of your everyday needs? Paano kung biglang nawala ng trabaho ang isa sa kasambahay? Siyempre, apektado ang household financial, alam mo nyo yun, yung kabuuan po, yung overall financial capabilities ng family. Pag may isa na nawalan ng trabaho, ang laking problema niyan. Kasi sa amin, sa bahay namin, what we do is, kami magkakapatid, meron kaming kanya-kanyang responsibility sa bahay. Okay? So ako sa utilities, ako pala sa wifi, sa internet, ayun po, and then of course, I have my own utilities to think about. And also yung groceries, every time na meron akong sweldo. Yung kapatid ko naman, sa utilities siya yung tubig, ilaw, etc. Yung isang kapatid ko, tumutulong siya when it comes to groceries. Yung sa mga wants. So pag sino man sa amin ang mawalan ng trabaho, like mawalan siya ng trabaho, siya yung may kotse, wala kaming panggasolina, alam mo yon, very, very tight ang budget. So what will happen? What are you going to do? You are saving money, yes, for your signature clothes, but what are you going to do? There is scarcity. So there's a decision that you have to make. Okay? So ito po ay situational lang. You have your own situations in life. Ang pino-point out lang po dito sa people, when people face trade-offs is what? Which is important. You remember po yung aking discussion the last time tungkol dun sa Eisenhower, when you make ang tawag dito, when we decipher in a quadrant kung ano po yung important and urgent. Ito po yun. You can apply this here also in this particular situation. When people face trade-offs. So you have to really understand what is important and what is urgent. Yun. So, pwede natin pong i-apply yun dito. It's a combination of a lot of principles actually. Kaya nga siya applied economics. Okay, so moving on, that is the very brief example of people face trade-offs. Nagte-trade-off tayo because we are faced with scarcity. Okay? Hindi natin kakayanin na mag-stick sa isang decision. We definitely make a trade-off. Okay? Another example would be, again, money. Wala kang masyadong, you don't have enough cash or you don't have enough savings, but you need car. So what are you going to do? Are you going to buy brand new car or are you going to buy a second-hand car? So in face of scarcity, I'm going to buy not a brand new but second-hand. Pero may mga tao kasi, nakilala ko na, I will still buy brand new. Pero hindi ako bibili ng mamahaling kotse. Yung brand ang pinag-uusapan dito. So yung mura lang daw na brand ang bibili niya. That is a decision, okay? Ano yun eh, decision niya yun. Ang argument naman niya doon is this. Siyempre, pag bago yung kotse, mas maganda. Why? Kasi wala pang ibang gumamit. Pag second hand kasi, hindi mo alam kung paano siya ginamit. Usually daw, kapag second hand cars, ang daming sira. Which is true naman, di ba? Pero if you're still going to compare the budget, if you're going to still compare the amount of the brand new car, kahit hindi siya branded, sa second hand, na sabihin na natin, wag natin ilagay sa mga malalapit na year. Wag naman 2,000. Siguro mababa ng konti, mga 1994. Ayan, mga ganyan. Mas mura pa rin ang second hand. Yun nga lang, of course, there are risks. Pero syempre, sabi rin naman ng kapatid ko, tinanong ko to sa brother ko, okay lang yun, kahit second hand car. Kaya nga dapat marunong ka sa kotse. You have to understand how does cars work. So, you have to ensure yung mga details dapat maayos, which is hindi ako familiar at hindi ko po madidiscuss sa inyo. You have to talk to someone who really knows about cars. So sabi niya, kahit na second hand yan, makakapamili ka pa rin ng magandang sasakyan at a very low price. Dapat lang daw, alam mo kung ano ang isang sasakyan, kung ano yung dapat at hindi na nandoon. So I cannot discuss it because I'm not into cars, okay? So ang suggestion dyan is you talk to someone who is knowledgeable about cars. Okay? So let's move on to the next. Opportunity cost. Ano bang example ko dito? Ang example ko dito last time is yung family, diba? The mother or either the father or the mother goes abroad and leave the children behind with the aunties and the lolas. Okay, so anong nawawala? Nawawala yung time together with the family, of course. So, nawawala yung makita mo yung mga anak mo while they are growing up. But, ano yung opportunity cost dun sa nawala? It's how you provide for them. Sabi nga nila andito nga kayo magkakasama, lagi naman kayong hirap. Nag-aaway kayo kasi wala kayong panggastos. So, mas mabuti na raw na umalis ang isa para nakakapag-provide siya. Kung wala man siya with the family, of course, and cannot be with the kids, ang technology naman natin nandiyan. So, they can always communicate with each other, mag-video call, etc. Ngayon, hindi na imposible yan eh. Before, yes, pwede nating sabihin yon. Kasi dati, napaka-expensive. At wala pang DDD nung time na yon, no? Di pa natin kayang dumiretso. Walang Facebook. Sa Facebook ka, pwede ka nang tumawag saglit. And you can see your father or your mother kahit nandito ka sa Philippines. So, at this time, hindi na masyadong issue yung nawawala. Kasi it can be compensated even for a little time. Ayan. Okay? So, although, of course, we cannot deny the fact that there is still lost. Although there is still lost if we are going to compare with the opportunity cost. So ang tanong lang dyan is ganito, yung opportunity cost ba na nakukuha mo from going abroad, does it compensate dun sa nawala? That is a question that we cannot answer for everybody. It really depends. Kasi bawat tao may kanya-kanyang pagtanggap sa bawat sitwasyon. May mga tao na very objective at okay lang sa kanila. May mga tao na masyadong emotional and so pag emotional ka, your judgment is clouded and so everything is not okay with you. Parang ganyan. Parang katulad doon sa napanood ko na pelikulang Anak ni Vilma Santos and Claudine Barreto. masasabi natin ingrata yung bata doon kasi nga wala yung mother mo, hindi mo hiningin na pumunta siya sa abroad, pero you have to be thankful kasi kung ano man yung pina-provide sa'yo, di ba? Hindi kayang i-provide yun ng iba. So whatever is the lost, just be thankful with what we have. Ayan, okay. hindi na tayo masyado napunta tuloy sa medyo na yan, medyo values na po yun, pero kasama kasi ang values talaga when we are deciding. Okay? And of course, yung values na yan, kailangan ini-impart natin sa ating mga anak. Yan po. Okay, so that is for the opportunity cost. Okay? Moving on to the next is the rational people think at a margin, marginal benefits, and of course, the marginal cost. Let's go back to trade-offs. So, trade-offs, sabi nga nila, kumbaga sa kotse, no? Pag wala kang pera, sige, bili ka ng second-hand cars. Okay, that is actually related to rational thinking at a margin. Yung marginal benefits and costs. When you compute the marginal benefits and costs, you are actually rationalizing things kasi may computation ka. Sa trade-off kasi, walang computation. Okay, you're just looking into the urgent and the important. But if you are into computation of the marginal benefits and the costs before you decide, then you are being rational. Okay, regardless of what is lost, okay, in whatever opportunity that you chose. Magkakadugtong po yung tatlo, di ba? Magkakadugtong yung tatlong, tawag dito, principles of economics on how to decide, on how people decide. Ayan po. Magkakadugtong kasi talaga yung tatlong yan. Pero pwede rin naman silang magkakaiba kasi depende nga po yan sa sitwasyon. Basta po, pag marginal benefits and marginal cost na tayo, ang tinitingnan na natin dyan, it's more logical, we are more objective, because we are into computation of what is the benefit and what is the cost. And we are also looking into ano ba yung hindi okay. Sabi nga nila, when we decide, dapat tinitingnan mo daw yung pros and cons. So meron kang pros at meron kang cons. Pag mas mataas ang cons kaysa sa pros, you don't decide on that. Ibig sabihin talo ka kasi mas maraming cons eh. Pag mas marami yung pros kaysa sa cons, then you decide. Kasi mas maraming opportunity cost. Kapag maraming cons, di ba po? Okay po. So ganun po siya. But here in rational people thinking at the margin, you are more objective. You're not just into the pros and the cons, you are actually computing the marginal benefits and the marginal cost. This is very good for entrepreneurs, actually. This is very good for entrepreneurs. Ang mga entrepreneurs dapat is always into marginal benefits and costs. Kapag ka nagde-decide sila, whether magbubukas sila ng bagong tindahan, bagong branch, mag-i-improvise ba sila ng product o sila ay gagawa ng bagong product. Diba? Improvisation on an old product, or are they going to make another product? And always, of course, it depends on the needs and the wants of people. If the needs and the wants of people is evolving, okay, nag-i-evolve naman kasi talaga yan, hindi naman yan constant at one particular point in time. Pag nag-i-evolve siya, you decide, is it time for improvisation or is it time for a new product? I remember yung mga shampoos po natin, di ba? Ang daming improvisation. Hindi ako makaisip ng particular shampoo, pero what I remember is merong nag-change ng packaging, merong nagsabi na they are, kumbaga, mas marami na sila because there's a 10% additional dun sa bawat sachet na meron ka. Mas okay siya ngayon kasi it makes your hair shinier. Nag-improvise ng product, same Palmolive pero different uses. Like meron na siyang for coarse hair, meron na siyang for para sa mga nagpapa-perm ng hair, nagpapakulay ng buhok, para ma-maintain, etc., etc. So, for different folks, there are different products that they can use. So, that is an example of an improvisation. And at the same time, continuously, creating new products for different people's needs and wants. And okay, so moving on to the next, people respond to incentive. When we talked about people responding to incentive, very good din po ito for entrepreneurs, especially when they are deciding to provide particular incentives for their employees. Alam naman po natin yan, walang pwedeng magsabing hindi. Most people are very much keen into incentives. They look into incentives, of course. Kapag yung mga tao sa organization, there are incentive, mas ganahan silang magtrabaho, mas maganda yung outputs, etc. etc. Tayo naman po pag namimili, kapag meron tayong mga incentives from our po na, let's say for example, Samsung, Apple, whatever brand that we think we are buying. Every time there is an incentive for that, mas binibili po natin siya. Ako ganun ako eh. Si Samsung, ano ba tong ano ko? Lenovo, kung ano man yung brand ng, ako kasi hindi ako nakatingin sa brand ng laptop. Ang tinitingnan ko is yung incentives. Kasi check namin maigi yun. Ano ba yung ipoprovide? Okay, pag mas okay to, dito kami ganyan. At some point in time, ganun kami magdesisyon. Okay, especially if you cannot afford Apple. Although maganda talaga siya, or Mac, di ba? You can't afford that. And then you look into other brands of laptops, and then ang tatanong mo kagad, ano, may bundles po ba to? Meron po ba tong extra? Meron po ba itong tawag dito? Meron po ba tong anong tawag doon? Free na mouse, free na headset, etc. etc. So we go from store to store, checking, comparing, okay? So ganun po kasi ang tao talaga. There is always an incentive. Tapos bakit tayo kumukuha ng mga tinatawag nating mga, ang tawag dito, mga cards, di ba? Sa SMAC ng SM, loyalty card ni Robinson's Galleria, etc. etc. Why do we avail of these cards? Because these are incentives. Okay? Sabi nga ng brother ko, naku, te, maganda yung incentive kasi after some time, magugulat ka na lang, lalo na kapag madalas ka nga talagang bumibili, for example sa SM, magugulat ka na lang, kung ano man yung na-save mo doon, pwede mo nang ipambili ng item. And you're not taking out cash. Kumbaga, whatever you save, whatever incentives SM is giving you, yung kahit gaano yan kaliit, kapag kasi yan ay na-save in a particular time, madami na rin naman talaga siya. And then, you can actually buy, and you're not going to pull out money from your pockets anymore. Kasi enough naman yung savings or enough yung incentives, enough yung points na nandoon sa card for you to be able to buy a particular product that you want. Okay, so ganun talaga. And then of course yung mga sales, 'di ba? Before nung nasa F2F tayo, meron tayong mga midnight sales. Bakit we rush into midnight sales? Ang saya-saya natin pag midnight sales kasi feeling natin, number one, feeling natin nakadiskwento tayo. Kumbaga, tayo ay panalo doon sa nabili natin kasi branded na, discounted pa, di ba? Mga ganon. So, ganyan talaga mag-isip ang mga tao. So, people always respond to incentives. So, when you do incentives for the entrepreneurs, whether it's for your clients or for your, of course, clients and people in the organization, very good po yan. Okay, moving on to the next. Oops. Okay, saglit lang. Ayan. Okay, yung pangalawa po na category is people interact with each other. Okay, so how do we interact with each other? So, tatlo rin yung nauna, people, yung decisions, how people make decisions, apat sila. Now, dito sa people interact with each other, tatlo. Okay, so ito po yung pang-fifth dun sa 10 principles of economics. So, trade can make everyone better off. Okay, there is always a trade. Sabi nga dito sa picture, I wish I had a rock. I wish I had a stick. Okay, if we go back in history, if you still remember your history books, meron po tayong tinatawag na barters, di ba? Noong time na yon wala naman talagang pera. So what we do, we barter. We exchange. Noon, hindi natin tinitingnan yung value ng ginto. Basta valuable siya para dito sa tao na to, pero wala akong stake. Kailangan ko siya ngayon, wala akong stake, pero I have gold. Pinamimigay nila yung gold for the stake. Kasi hindi naman sila aware kung ano yung value ng stake at saka yung value ng gold. Basta ang importante, kung anong meron ako, and kailangan ko yung nasa'yo, pwede tayo mag-exchange. That's how barter works those times. And as of these times, ganun din naman pa rin siya. When people, sinasabi nga natin, people trade, when people make a trade, it is always makes everyone better off. Ayan. Okay, so sabi dito, trade allows countries, we're talking about countries na, hindi lang po basta tao. So trade allows countries to specialize according to their comparative advantages and to enjoy a greater variety of goods and services. Okay, di po ba? Tama naman po yun. Okay, bawat country may tinatawag tayong specialization sa atin. So kaya nga yung iba, bakit gusto pumunta dito sa Pilipinas? Wala kasi silang Boracay sa States, wala silang Boracay sa Saudi Arabia. So they have to come here to experience Boracay. That is the specialization of the Philippines because the Philippines have numerous, di ba? We have islands, we have numerous, ang tawag dito, tourist spots in the Philippines. There's a lot. Okay, ang dami. And sinasabi nga nila, yung iba daw po ay virgin spa. So, yun yung mga gusto nilang puntahan. Kasi malinaw ang tubig, malinis, walang masyadong maraming tao, etc. etc. In other countries, konti lang yun sa kanila. And so, they go here in the Philippines to, not to exploit. I don't want to say the word exploit. Okay, so it's not about exploitation. But, yun kasi, doon tayo kumikita. Diba? Kung ang Pilipinas para sa mga tao niya, of course, meron tayong trade industry, ganun din naman ang isang bansa para sa labas ng bansa. So, ano po ang meron sa States? Bakit tayo nagpupunta doon? Kung may pera ka lang, pupunta ka sa Las Vegas because that's the, ano ba term nila doon sa Las Vegas? Yung national gambling daw of the world. Tama ba yung word? Tama ba ako? Baka mabash ako. Tama ba yun? Pero that's what I remember. Di ba? Pupunta tayo doon kasi doon talaga marami kang makikita na ways and means on how to gamble. And people, if they have the ways and the means, if they have the resources, they go there. And it's nice daw, according to some. Di ba? So ano pa yung meron sa States? You go to Grand Canyon, etc. etc. Anong meron naman sa Saudi Arabia? What I remember in Saudi Arabia, meron sila doon na yung pure gold na parang establishment. Tapos nasa Saudi Arabia yung ilang bang stars ang hotel natin? Let me check. Kasi baka mabash tayo. Mahirap kasi yun. Okay, pero okay lang naman mag-check sa internet. Let's go to our friendly Google. Ayan mga estudyante ha, even teachers, pag sinabing teacher, alam na namin lahat, di ba? Kasi sabi nga, there is always a specialization. Basta ang alam ko, 7-star. Let me see if my memory serves me right. 7-star hotel. Yes, okay. Ang 7-star hotel ay nasa Dubai. Okay? And ayan, tama. So, yan yung naalala ko. So, I'm just checking Google kasi mahirap na mabash. Okay, so yung 7-star hotel ay nandoon. So if you want to see the 7-star hotel, go to Dubai. Gusto mo makakita ng camels, ng deserts, yung nakikita ko sa mga pelikula, yung Dubai na pelikula ni Claudine Barreto ulit at saka ni Aga Mulak, John Lloyd Cruz, I remember. Makikita mo doon talagang, ang ganda yung nag-ano sila, tawag dito, they are crossing the path of the wilderness in Dubai, yung talagang disyerto nila doon, di ba? Talagang, anong tawag doon? There's a term that I cannot remember, pero sasakyan yan, di ba? Nakakalimutan ko talaga. Okay, they're driving. Ayan, they're driving in the desert. So yun, nakita ko yun dun sa pelikula yun. Sabi ko, ganda siguro ng pagkaganon. And then, You can see the camels and everything. You can also, of course, ride the camels if you want to. If you want to experience yung tipong kahit makaiwan ka ng cellphone sa park at pagbalik mo kinabukasan ay nandoon pa rin, punta ka sa Dubai. Kasi hindi uso doon na nakawan. Hindi katulad dito sa Pilipinas, na iwan mo lang yung 20 pesos mo, pagbalik mo, wala na yung 20 pesos mo. At hindi mo alam kung sino ang kumuha, di ba? Ayan, nakakaloka. So, maraming bagay sa country. Bawat country have their own specialization. And that's the reason why we go there if we have the ways and the means. If we have the resources, we go abroad. Anong meron sa gusto kong puntahan ng gusto kong puntahan ang tawag ito? What country is this? Hong Kong. Yan. Gusto ko pumunta sa Hong Kong. Sana by next year. Sana okay na ako by next year. Sana okay na ang sitwasyon ng Pilipinas, ng buong mundo para makapunta na, para makapag-abroad na. Ang gusto kong puntahan doon is yung replica. Sabi nila maganda daw yung replica ng Disney. Ayan, gusto kong puntahan yun doon sa Hong Kong. And sana makapunta ako. And kayo rin po, di ba? Marami kayong gustong puntahan, marami kayong nakikita mga information in the internet. And of course, we are people. Pagka napapagod tayo, traveling is the most convenient way for us to distress. If you have the money, travel. Ayan po. So, yan po yung sinasabing trade allows countries to specialize. Ayan po, may kanya-kanyang kakanyahan, kagandahan ang bawat bansa. If you want to experience 0 degrees, sabi nila Korea. No, punta ka raw sa Korea. At napakaano daw. If you want to experience kimchi, ayan, yung authentic ha, hindi yung kasi kung minsan masarap yung authentic. Sabi nila, okay lang naman daw mag-improvise, okay daw sa mga food na magkaroon ng twist. Yes, okay lang lahat yan. Pero of course, we want to experience the authentic dish or the authentic taste of this particular food. Okay? So marami nag-offer ng Thai food here in the Philippines. Fine. May mga twist na yung iba dyan. You want to experience the authentic, go abroad and go to Thailand. Ayan. So, yan po yung mga natin. Yeah. So, another thing is trade makes each person better off. Both got what they wanted through an exchange. Ano po yung exchange na ginagawa naman natin every day of our lives? We do that, actually. Like, for example, we trade with our friends. Diba po? Sabihin ko sa kaibigan ko, sabihin ng friend ko pala sa akin, punta tayo sa ganitong lugar. Napuntahan ko na yan eh. Sige na, ako hindi pa ako nakakapunta eh. O sige, punta tayo dyan. Pero next week, punta tayo dito. Napuntahan mo na ba to? Hindi pa rin. O sige, next week punta tayo dito. Parang ganon. So when you converse, ang tawag doon in other term is compromise. Ayun, yung exchange na tinatawag na yan. Trade can make everyone better off. Yung compromising. In our everyday life, we do compromise. We do a trade-off with each other. And even the company, the organization, and the people inside the company always make a trade-off in every situation. I remember when I was in Greenwich, sabi sa akin, mamahal ko, you have to go to Baguio for 1 year. Sabi ko, ayoko pumunta ng Baguio for 1 year. Tapos ako lang mag-isa. Wala akong kilala doon. Ang binigay nilang trade-off with me is hindi ko na halos magagamit yung aking salary. Why? Because they're going to provide for an allowance. Aside from that, sila rin ang magbabayad ng titirhan ko sa Baguio. And may allowance na ako, may per dime pa ako. Ang dami. So I have a per dime based on my salary. And then sila magbayad ng aking titirhan, yung accommodation. And I have an allowance for the food and for my transportation. See? So those things, sabi ko, Okay, sige, basta gano'n. So, yun ay pipirmahan ninyong dalawa ng company, and then once it's okay, you are going to go to the place where they assigned you for a task. So ako, pumayag ako, and true enough, halos hindi ko nagagamit yung sweldo ko, and nakakapagpadala sa family, and aside from that, nakaipon ako that time. Ang maganda kasi sa Baguio, very, very ano, ang tawag dito, very ano yung kanilang way of living, very simple. Ayan, tsaka mura ang gulay, etc. Yung tinirahan ko, ang bait-bait, alam niyo yun. Magbabayad na lang ako, hindi ko na kailangang, magbabayad ako ng para sa food, kung pag gusto ko, pag ayaw ko, pwede akong kumain sa labas. At pagka kumain ka sa labas, ang mura lang din. That time. Okay, I'm talking about that time. That time in the 1997 or 1998. Ayan po. At sa Baguio, napakasarap. Kasi ang lamig-lamig ng panahon. Ayan. So that is what you call a trade-off. So the organization and the people in the organization can make a trade-off. Okay? Yan po yung example, the best example for a trade-off. Ayan. Okay, so, and of course, in our everyday life, as we talk with our family, our brothers and sisters, even our parents, our boss, we do trade-offs. Okay, next. Ito na po yung last. Markets are usually good way to organize economic activity. As you can see, that is the best example. Nasa picture na po yung sinasabi ng markets are usually good way to organize economic activity. How? Kasi like for example, napaka very good po nung naisip ni Henry C. tsaka ni Gokong Wei na nagtayo po sila ng mall kasi ando doon na lahat. Hindi ka nalalabas. Unlike before, na kung saan kang pupuntang lugar para lang mabili itong mga pangangailangan mo. But now we have a mall, and everything inside the mall is a good way to organize economic activity. Nandiyan na, pwede ka nandiyan magpa-facial, pwede ka manood ng sine, pwede ka mag-grocery, even wet market, di ba? Meron na rin sila doon. Ano pa ang meron doon? Mga establishment, restaurants. Do you have to go to bakit ka pa pupunta sa Max's kung may Max din naman doon sa loob ng mismo ng mall, di ba? May mga tawag dito, ano ba yung gaming, arcades, ayan. So may mga arcades na. Lalabas ka pa ba pag gusto mong magpa-print? Kasi meron na rin naman doon sa loob ng mga computer shops. That's what we call markets are usually good way to organize economic activity. That is a very, 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 very good example for this one. Pero sabi dito, Adam Smith saw that when households and firms interact in markets guided by the invisible hands, sabi nga, they will produce the most surpluses for the economy. This is another way of saying how the market can be a good way to organize economic activity. And households and firms look at prices when deciding what they buy and sell. They unknowingly consider the social cost of their actions. Totoo naman yun. Di ba? Lagi naman talaga tayong nakatingin sa prices. But of course, not only the prices of this time. Siyempre, yung benefits nung isang product, if we are comparing products from each other, we look at the price and at the same time the benefits. Rational, di ba? Rational people think at a margin. So, we just don't look at the price kung sino ang mas mababa, but we also have to look into the nutrient value. When we look into the nutrient value, we are being rational when we buy things. Ayan po yung combination nun. As a result, prices guide decision makers to reach outcomes that tend to maximize the welfare of the society, of the organization, and of the household. Dugtong-dugtong po yan. Kasi nakalagay dito, society lang. It's, of course, dinadagdagan po natin. Hindi lang ng society, of course, the organization in every company in the Philippines, in a country, and of course, in every household of the people in a country. Okay po. And dinagdagan ko lang din po kasi ang sabi lang dito is prices. Hindi lang siya prices, but it is also about yung tinatawag po nating benefits. Okay? Kasi binabalik ko lang po doon sa marginal cost. But if we are just looking at the markets, are usually good way to organize economic activity. Ito lang po talaga siya. Kaya lang, kinoconnect ko lang. Because it can be connected actually. It depends on the teacher, on how the teacher will be able to connect it from each other. Okay? And ano po yung invisible hands? Di ba po? Ang government, of course. Yun po yung invisible hands na tinatawag. There is this invisible hands that provides, that dictates. Hindi natin alam kung hindi natin siya nakikita, of course. Pero paano tayo nag-guide ng invisible hands na to? Yun po kung ano po yung product, kung ano po yung economic activity na pinaprovide sa atin ng society, ng mga companies, ng government. That is what you call the invisible hands. Okay, so moving on to the next. Meron pa po ba? Ayan, okay, medyo nag-overtime na ako. Last na lang. Government can sometimes improve economic outcomes. Ang government naman talaga can sometimes improve. Can sometimes, but not all the time. It's not 100%. And this is the very essence of our DTI here in the Philippines. Di ba nakikita nyo po, kapag sa news, kapag tumataas na, nire-regulate na nila, nagpupunta na sila sa mga market, pinapakita yan sa news, sine-check nila yung mga prices na binibigay po ng ating mga entrepreneurs, ng ating pong mga nagbebenta ng lahat ng products in the market. The government, the DTI, that branch of government, DTI, checks on the price. At saka, hindi ba, hindi rin pwedeng basta-basta magtaas ng, if you remember, nung nasa F2F tayo, hindi basta-basta pwedeng magtaas ng pamasahe. Ang tawag dito, ang mga tricycle drivers at ang ating mga bus drivers, ang ating mga jeepney drivers, because it's being regulated. Ayan po. Okay, so much for that. Binilisan ko na po yung government, sometimes improve economic outcomes. So, wala naman akong nakitang nag-message. And ilalabas ko na po ito. Ayan. Okay, thank you so much. Okay po. So, next week, we are going to talk about the last category of the 10 principles of economics. And so I hope that I was able to provide insights and views that can be used in our everyday lives. Not only, of course, sabi ko nga kanina, not for entrepreneurs only, not for students who's learning business, but also everybody. Lahat po tayo. Okay? So with that, that's all for today. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.